there's times where I'm in situations and I think my insecurity lies in not necessarily what I'm doing or what my goal is, but like what are other people thinking?
What up, creative people? Welcome to Creatives Are Essential Podcast, episode 5.
Woo.
Can I just say that I'm really happy that we've been consistent with this thing. I am Christina, the one who always forgets to say her name. This is my buddy Joe.
Joe, what it do? Hey.
And we have a special guest with us today. The homie, Mark Lee Films is in the building.
Mark.
Mark Lee Films is in the building. What's up, people? Happy to be here.
He's a YouTuber, guys. That's where the films, comes in.
Them subscribers is on the rise right now, boy.
Yes, finally.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how nervous are you?
I would say probably like a 12. Like a 12. If I could be honest.
Why are you nervous?
I think it's just like once you do something consistently and it becomes normal, then it's like, all right, you like dust off the, feathers or whatever. But like, it's now a new scene. It's my first time.
Yeah.
With you
I
guys.
You got to get used to it. It's okay. I feel you.
Thankfully, it's us. You're
Yeah.
around all the time.
Yeah, man.
What's crazy is like last night I was like, yeah, guys, we can just be natural. And now I'm coming here today. I'm like, oh man.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. I am Mark. I am like to be here.
The funny thing is, the first time we did the podcast, like I almost had a whole anxiety attack afterwards.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like on the ground, like.
It's okay, Christina. You got through it. You're done. Good job, kiddo.
I think people think like, oh, you do this all the time. How do you get nervous? It's like, no, like it's very hard.
Yeah,
it's actually easier for me to, because I sing as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually easier for me to just sing, which I'm not going to do, as opposed to talking. Every time I talk, I'm just like, hey guys, how are you?
Well, you're about to talk a lot more because we got some rapid fire questions for you, just so that people can kind of get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. So we're trying to we want you guys to know a little bit more about who Mark is. I think over the last 4 episodes, you've got to know me, Christina, and Will. Shout out to William. He's not here right now, but he's not gone. Just so you know, there's been no problems. We just want to bring Mark in.
He's actually right next door.
Yeah, he's actually listening to us talk about all this stuff right now. Mm-hmm. So we just wanted you guys to really kind of get caught up on, just to round out Mark as a person. So we're going to ask him.
And you can decide if you love him or hate him yourself.
Exactly. We're still on the fence. So you better answer correctly. No, I'm just kidding. So we got 5 this or that's, okay?
Okay.
You don't try to, think too long about that. Yeah. So we got some this or that. You can give a brief explanation on why you chose that thing, but we can't be sitting here, Jeopardy style. Like,
if we got to start playing the music.
I can't phone a friend or nobody.
Nothing.
Nah.
That's it. So and then we'll give you one, just a regular response question at the end, okay?
Okay.
All right, so here we go. You ready? This or that. Chocolate or sugar candy?
I'm going to say chocolate.
Bet.
It's one strike.
But 1+ for me. Good job. DC or Marvel?
I'm going to say Marvel, only because I've seen more Marvel movies. However, I'm not really like a big comic book movie fan, if that's okay to say.
Okay. Hey, I feel you guys going into the comment sections now. Just relax, okay? Let's hear them all the way out.
I feel myself going there as soon as this goes up.
All right, checks or stripes? Nike or Adidas?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to have to say Nike for now.
I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Nike.
All right.
I'm not mad at it.
All right, here's one I know you're gonna know about. Married at First Sight or Bachelorette?
I'm gonna say Bachelorette. I think it's just because I don't know. Granted, both end with the same end result, in mind. But I'm gonna say Bachelorette.
Is the end result divorce or
getting married? Because with the Bachelorette, you go straight into like engagement at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just more time to get to know the person that you're about to spend supposedly the rest of your life with, as opposed to like, oh, hey, here, boom, you're in this relationship with this person and, good luck.
Bet. All right, last one. This is an important one. Okay, ready? Sony or Canon?
This guy. I should have known he was going to ask this.
Choose your next words wisely.
Okay. Can I break it down, like whether it be photography
Quickly.
or
Quickly.
Okay. So photography, I'm gonna say Canon all day, for me personally. For videography, I'm gonna slightly
Get out.
But
Get out.
I'm only saying Sony because I'm only saying Sony because that's my experience. I haven't really like held or shot any video. Look at Will.
Look, Will is ready to replace you.
We might need to tag you in. Be ready, okay?
Right.
I haven't shot any video with Canon yet, so I can't really say Canon until I've shot video with it.
All right, I'll give you that. But as soon as you do,
I'll let you know.
All right, you better make your decision and choose wisely.
Yes.
Choose ye this day.
Well, I love Canon's color science when it comes to pictures. Beautiful.
Awesome. Okay. All right.
Take
Last
it.
question. This is your overall response. This is not a this or that. What is the most difficult thing about being a creative?
that's a really good question.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, I mean, there's so many things that come along with it for sure, but I would say the one that comes to mind the most is probably self-doubt and doubt from others. And I say that because, being that I'm a vlogger, I do YouTube, there's times where I'm in situations and I think my insecurity lies in not necessarily what I'm doing or what my goal is, but like what are other people thinking in that moment? Like, oh, here goes Mark with his camera again. Or like, oh, look at him playing. He's, like, oh, is this a hobby? But for me, it's like I know what my vision is with it. I know my goals. And sometimes it could be like even the silent thoughts.
Yeah.
That you just assume people are thinking. And they could probably be like,
That's real.
like, man, like, they could be admiring it.
Right.
Right.
But in my insecurity, maybe sometimes I'm just like, hey, you guys want to be in a video?
Right. That's so real.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that for me. What about you guys, if I can ask?
Shoot. I mean, honestly, like I'm pretty close along those lines. Like when you said that, it made me think like of all the times when, like, let's say there's an event going on that like, oh man, it would be cool. Maybe I could make a video out of this or whatever. I remember there were times where I was like, but I don't want to be that guy. Like, hey, sticking a camera in people's faces and they're like, what are you doing? And then all this stuff. And it's like, I want to make something, but like, I'm not always the most confident in the moment to like shoot stuff that I haven't like prepped for or, like people it's like a clear like thing. But I've seen like people that are like, they'll just go for it. Like they don't even ask questions. Like even like, okay, even like there was an example like last week, we were shooting this workout. Some of the guys are getting ready for the draft and stuff like that. And we were taking pictures for the workout and Ocho, Chad Johnson was out there. And there was another guy who plays baseball. I don't know who he was, but he was apparently big time. And they were working out as well, like in the same area. And Ocho's like, oh man, I don't know this guy. Like, I'm gonna go over there and I go talk to him. So in my head, I'm like, man, I should go over there and take pictures of this interaction.
Ocho went over there to talk to
Ocho went over to talk to Buddy. And I was like, but I'm like, he didn't call me over there. Is it gonna be weird if I just show up? But then I have my homeboy Josh. Josh was just pulled up, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what? I probably need to be more like, you know what I mean? It's almost like adopting the mindset of, like, what am I trying to say? Like, your confidence. Like, okay, I'd rather you tell me to not do it than opposed to like.
You stopping
missing
yourself.
out on that opportunity, exactly, and me being the one getting in my own way and missing out on an opportunity getting a shot. You know what I'm saying? So,
do you think sometimes it lies on like I'm invading this person's privacy, so that fear of reject? What's the rejectment? That's not rejection.
Yeah,
that fear of rejection comes into play.
See,
like,
that's that Sony coming into. That's what it is.
The fear of rejection comes into play. Like for me, it's like my content is surrounded by me. So that means like everything that has to do with me, whether it be my relationship or whether it be my family. And for them, they're not used to it. And if I could be honest, they didn't sign up for it. This was my dream. So, and it's something that I said like, ooh, I would like to do that. But they didn't. So I think for me, it's like when I pull out that camera, sometimes it's like, what are they going to say? Like, I want to show all facets of my life. But that fear of like rejection is like, hey, can you not like, hey, this is an intimate moment, or hey, like, can you cut that part out because and just I think I'm afraid of that,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think for me, I deal with doubt, but it's, for me, I guess it's more of a, like, how are people going to perceive, what I do? Because I am pretty confident in my ability to like produce stuff. I think on a pretty big scale, or because I'm confident in what I do, I think it's going to be this big thing. And sometimes I'm reluctant to do stuff if I think that people won't see it on as big of a scale as I see it. Yeah. Like even this podcast, I was kind of hesitant because I'm like, all right, what if it doesn't get thousands and thousands of views? Like, what if it's just something small to people? Like that kind of creates a little doubt in me to do certain things. And another thing that I really deal with is like the guilt of dealing or doing like this type of stuff, because not everybody has the opportunity to do this kind of thing. And when you're out here and you're kind of like living your dream in a sense, but you get all these cool opportunities and other people are kind of just sitting there, with their regular jobs. It's like,
which is cool.
Hey,
which is cool, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a cool thing, especially if you work for it, or But I do. That's a thing for me because I've always had like these random, really cool, significant opportunities. Yeah. That sometimes I don't even work for. They just happen, and I'm like.
Has anybody ever like voiced that like to you? Like, has anybody ever said like, or maybe have you ever felt like an actual person be like, yo, like. Christine always getting these opportunities, and here I am. Like,
no, but I mean, not verbally, but sometimes it's more indirect. There have been, a person that's like, like, oh, you're going here? Like, that's not fair. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but also I'm going.
Yeah, and I think like the part that like they don't see, or people in general, is like they don't understand like how much time you actually put into it before those opportunities or things happen. Like I remember for me, I just picked up a camera just to film my life. But from that, like other people would be like, oh, can you do this? Sure. Oh, can you film this for me? Sure.
Right.
And, so it does open those doors. But then it's like, you kind of fell into it in a sense.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for it. But it's
just when you take risk, I think there's a reward on the other side of that, or there's an opportunity on the other side of that. But if you didn't take that risk and you're only, you're watching me on the other side of the risk that I took, and now I'm kind of reaping the reward. Right. It's kind of like, I mean.
Quick story. Can I share something?
Of course.
I remember the first time, like literally I bought like a tripod and I said I wanted to vlog. And I said to myself, because I have such a fear of public speaking, contrary to popular belief,
I'm with you on that.
I forced myself. I said, you're going to go out today and you're going to just walk with this tripod in your hand.
Bruh, I don't think I...
And I'll never forget, I was in some plaza going to like pay my phone bill or something. And I was walking, like practicing, like, hey guys, what's up? And then I just remember, because I was so conscious of the people and the views and what people are thinking of me around me. I heard this voice in like the background, like, oh, he's vlogging. And I was like, oh, they see me. Oh no. And I just remember I was like, all right, I'll see you guys then, And it was just such a fear. And I'm just like, dude, like, get over it. So it was like a process. But I don't know if you guys can relate to this too, but it's like, if you don't even do something like that for so long, maybe like 2-3 weeks, it's kind of like you have to like get back into it again and overcome that fear again.
Yeah. That's why we're not stopping this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I'm somewhat more comfortable now than, 5 episodes ago or 4 episodes. But if we stop and then try to start back up, you may actually witness me having a panic attack. Like I'm sweating right now.
You might even witness the back sweat. Like you'll see the sweat from the forehead, and then like.
I mean, I just felt a drop. Honestly.
Yeah, no, but that's real though, because I remember like essentially I remember trying like vlogging like years ago. But I ran into that exact same thing because it's like I used to watch like a few of them, like mainly Casey Neistat was like one of the ones I watched like consistently. And I just love how, he was his own type of creative, like whatever, like how he did stuff. But I was just like, man, this is dope. I'm going to try this. But then I realized quickly, like, I am very self-aware and I'm very like aware of my surroundings.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm holding it. But then like when I get around people, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the camera gets low.
Exactly. Like, oh, hey.
And,
right.
You look in the comments, they're like, who's recording this? Like, your angles are off. Like,
but that's real though. And
especially if you're not using like a little small camera.
Yeah, I had a big old DSLR. I had my 60D on a little Gorilla Pod. And it's just like this monstrosity with the microphone. So it's like this big old head.
And people are not afraid to come up to you and be like, hey, what do you do? Like, what are you recording? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
People love it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this though. Have you ever felt not supported by people?
I would say, yeah.
Because you had mentioned, the doubt of other people or doubt coming from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes. I think but it also goes into, that's two things. One, I think sometimes it could be my insecurity. Like you said, are they going to see my vision or do they see it to the level that I do?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I wonder how much of that is actually me
just projecting
that and putting that out as opposed to what they're really thinking. And then I'm also the type of person, I guess for me, it's like the moment I say I'm going to help or support you in something, I'm more like hands-on. But if for me, like I say, hey, would you help me or do this type of video, blah, 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 whatever the case is, and I don't feel that same energy coming back, I'm like, oh, they don't support me.
Right.
They're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes back to my insecurities. Like maybe have I set the correct expectations of what I'm expecting them to do? Or am I verbalizing how I need them to support me? Or am I just assuming that because I get it, they get it. That's, that same way. And that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember early in my YouTube journey, especially when I would do videos sometimes with Jamie, who's my girlfriend, and there just be
Jamie.
What's up, boo? There'll be just sometimes just that pressure, and looking back, I wonder how much of that pressure I actually put on it. Like,
yeah,
as opposed to her. I'm setting everything up, and you're looking like, oh, so you just not gonna help me like set up these cameras, but in all actuality, she doesn't. That's not her forte. She, if anything, I think sometimes I had to learn from her. She just taking a step back just to let me be free and do what I need to do. And sometimes I think for me, I just can take that as you're not supporting me, but once again, it goes back to my insecurity.
Yeah.
But
what about you?
I know. I mean, I think, I don't know if it's been people per se. I know, Mark, you were saying like you might be projecting on people like that they might not be, they don't support you. But I think for me, like I almost didn't support myself. Like I was that person for myself. Especially when I started considering doing this as like a job. And being in the photography, videography field, I was just like, you got bills.
That's true.
That's real.
And like, how, like, where do I need to be at in order to, go completely full-time, strictly photography, videography. And I think I was really holding on to that, like, nah, you need to be stable. You need to be this or that. But it's like, okay, it was almost like a battle between, do I pursue this thing that I enjoy doing, and bet on myself essentially, and see where that goes, or hold on to that security and maybe do it here and there where it can kind of blossom.
So where would the security come from?
A job, like a regular, like a regular 9 to 5. And that was really my battle, because I was like, okay, are you really like good enough to
Yeah.
you know, get these like this amount of clients for this amount of money. Are you skilled enough? Are you even good at business enough? Like,
Yeah,
because that's
no.
a whole nother thing in
Oof.
itself.
A lot of people ain't ready for that part.
Listen,
Are you disciplined enough to like go for it and get it on your own?
bruh.
But here's the paradox in like security, the whole 9 to 5 security thing. You're not secure because if they want to fire you tomorrow,
They can.
they can. So what
Yeah.
you gonna do? You know? For
Yeah.
me, I'm always like, I'd rather like build it and figure it out and hope that eventually it becomes stable enough,
Yeah.
you know, where it's the only thing that I have going on. But that's real though.
Yeah.
Because it's like these bills ain't gonna stop coming.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
You
like,
know?
like life isn't gonna be like, all right, let's everything, pause, stop.
He's trying to build
He's
his
trying.
his photography
Give him a
business.
minute.
Give 'em-
Yeah.
No, it's gonna keep coming. And like that was a real struggle for me. Like I always respected like people like I don't know if people know about Kevin on stage, Kevin Fredericks. Like I really respect him and his mindset because he always bet on himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember even like when he was talking about like his relationship with his son, like his son was having a tough time because he was on the road a lot and, you know, dad wasn't around like he used to be and stuff like that. But he told his son, like, listen, son, I can't go back to doing a 9 to 5. I just can't do that
Right.
because this is what I love to do. But you know what? I'm willing to, you know, adjust what I have here. But like when I heard him say like that fact that like I can't go back there.
Yeah.
I can't go back that far. But listen, you know, I make it and I just that hit me. I'm like, wow, like he was really betting on himself hard
Yeah.
to like because he had a really good job at Banyan or was I don't remember where he was. But I think like later on that the job like like everybody wound up getting fired anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And it wound up working out for him because it was like, you know, he made the move and he believed in himself enough to make
Yeah.
that move. And it worked out in his favor because his job wouldn't even been there
Yeah.
had he stayed.
Listen.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
yeah.
admire that stuff, man.
And that's one thing that for me always takes me back as well because ever since I was a kid, I've just always asked like I would look in the mirror like, God, why am I here? Like what's my purpose? And as I've gotten older, you know, obviously you get closer to the end, you know, and I'm just like, I just don't want to like get to the end of my life and feel like I left anything or any
Right.
stone unturned. Like I didn't do this thing out of fear
That's
Right.
real.
or doubt or what other people will say because they're not going to be there with you. Like, man, you know,
Yeah.
but you're going to be there face to face with yourself
Right.
and the reality of what you did while you were here. And I just never want to get to the end and just be like, man, I wish I did that.
Yeah. That's
Gotta do
real.
that.
But I think you have to have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to have some type of or be committed to at least, even if the vision isn't completely clear, you have to have something that you're going for because dealing with doubt, like
Mhm.
that can stop you, especially if it's, I mean, doubt coming from people, you know, if you're on Instagram, you can, you know, the little memes and all that stuff. They did, you know, they doubted me, but you know, whatever. So you can kind of push through that. You just kind of,
It's
yeah,
gonna happen.
it's going to happen. But dealing with doubt that you're, you know, facing yourself, you know, that internal doubt, that's hard to push through.
Yeah.
Or not feeling supported
Mhm.
or not supporting yourself, like that's hard to push through. So it's
Yeah.
like, how do you, and maybe that's the question, you know, for the people who are, you know, listening, like, how do you develop this vision so that you have something to hold on to when it becomes hard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
And I think maybe even in that, like, there are certain aspects of our creative journey that we're insecure about. And maybe this is literally me just thinking off the top of the head, like, we have to identify those insecurities and then
Yeah.
build a platform around that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I might be super confident in my ability to shoot, but like I don't fully understand or I'm not good at, you know, the business side of it.
Yeah.
Or like, man, like I'm not really good with the okay, so how can I make that weakness at
Right.
least a strength or at least come up to a
Right.
level where I'm not as insecure about it?
Do you think asking for help is a problem that we as creatives have?
Right.
I have that problem, but it's like it's more of a deep rooted problem because I don't. For one, if I can't give you what you need, or if I can't compensate you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't want to ask for help.
Right.
One, and two, the more you ask for help, I think the more people start to take ownership of a thing.
Mhm.
And sometimes I just like things being clear you know, like this is still like my thing.
Yeah, so my baby. Like,
Right. You know,
my
so it's like there's not going to be any fight, because I've had those experiences where, you know, it's not made clear, and then we both, you know, are like fighting
tug of war,
over
yeah.
stuff. And then I've had things like pulled out from underneath me, you know, so I don't like bringing on more people than what's necessary. But now, like with Creatives Are Essential, like I'm surrounded by amazing people. Like you guys have, you know, taken on this vision with me to the point where I'm like, you know, like maybe it's not so bad, you know.
Quick story, if I may interject with another one.
Why do I feel like it's about to be about me?
It is, because I think it's so crazy. Like, I'm a person of faith, and I just think it's so crazy how things become full circle. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I remember I was in that same place, afraid to ask for help. And I was just like, oh man, how am I going to do this? I need to do channel art. I got to do these graphics. I got to create an intro. I have to do all these things. And it almost discouraged me from even starting. And then I just remember the Lord was just like, dude, like, you don't have to do all these things by yourself. Like, ask for help.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, duh, you know, so I like just started delegating things, and it made the process so much easier. I'm not on the level of brand in terms of like a business, so it's easier for me to delegate things or just, anyways. But I remember I was like, I'm gonna call Christina, and she's gonna, you know, I'm gonna ask her to do my intro. And we went out to Miami, Fort Lauderdale. We just recorded some stuff, and I'll never forget. We actually met up at Dunkin' Donuts when she was showing me the intro, and she was just like, "All right."
I don't remember.
She was like, "Here it is." She pressed the button to play it, and then she just watching me the whole time. I'm just like,
I don't even remember
I'll
that.
never forget. And I looked at her. She's like, "You like it?" She's like, "You like it?" I was like, "It's dope." She's like, "Really? Okay."
Listen, because that feeling of like you put something together and then now like this is like
your baby. Right?
Yeah.
my heart out there.
Oh my gosh.
Because it can go either way. But even in that, like you brought me on, but you also paid me.
Yeah.
So it's different. Because what happens if you're starting this vision or you have this, you know, goal or whatever, and you need help, but you can't pay people. Like y'all ain't getting paid to be here right now yet. You know, but like, you know, then that says a lot about you guys. But a lot of times when you need help, unless you got just amazing, dope people who can do a lot for you, you kind of like,
Well,
I don't want to take advantage.
Do you feel like that's like help, like in like making a project happen, or like just help, like, you know, hey, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Do you have any advice for me? Because I feel like I feel like mentorship and partnership can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a monetary transaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel like I'll say us right now. Like, and even a lot of the people that we've been like within Creators Are Essential, I feel like we've been helping each other build, you know? And I believe we all possess things that help us with the areas that we're not strong in. So like if I'm not, you know, that great with this thing, I can go to Mark, I can go to you, I can go to Josh, I can go to William.
So you feel like it's a more mutual exchange?
I feel like, I guess the point I was making is like, I think there's genuine, like people want to help each other. Like there are times, don't get me wrong, where you, okay, hey, I want to pay you to help me work this thing out, you know? But I feel like there are people that are like, want to help. You know what I mean? Like they want to be.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? But I know that all that kind of goes back to what you were saying, like the trouble of asking help, you know, like the problem with that. But I do believe that, like,
I got trust issues.
Yeah. But I was going to make the point, like, I feel like just having people around you can almost be that level up of your confidence in a thing, because and like, cause there's things that like, okay, like I said, like I'm not always the one to be like Mr. like go out there and, you know, go and shoot, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I'm around people that do that, and I'm watching how they do that. And now I'm like, okay, so next time I see they did it, you know, I can do this. And now, okay, I'm watching this, how they do it. And now my confidence level for me starts to grow because I've seen it like kind of, I seen the example set before me, you know?
Yeah.
And I can even take that moment and say, hey, when you went out there, like, dude, were you thinking about, you know, like, and you just get more insight that way. And I think it's important, or I think there's also being able to have those people around you to strengthen that muscle of confidence in your work. So
I think even in today's day and age, like social media has a big part to play in that. Because I'll never forget one of the main things you said to me was like, I just see how consistent you are. So for me, it was like, oh, there's people actually watching, or like you'll get somewhere and somebody like, oh, I just saw your video. Oh, you watched it, like, and it'll be the most random people.
Yeah.
And I think saying that to say like, you kind of your people prove who they are, you know, and it just, I don't know. I don't know. I can't say for everything, but you know, or everyone, but I just feel like this group has just kind of fallen into place. And we all have known each other, in some way or facet, and it's kind of just like helped.
Yeah.
And there's been things that I've been here for, and I'll scratch my head trying to figure out how to do it. And then Joel just come along and be like, oh, just do this, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like,
it's like, oh, so is that simple this whole time?
That would have took me like an hour to figure out, you know?
Yeah.
And that helps with doubt, that helps with insecurity, because you're just exchanging. It's kind of like, remember back in the day when you would just barter with your neighbors, like, hey, can I have some sugar? And it was nothing. It was like a tribe just helping you grow. And I think that's one of the amazing things.
We ain't do that,
but we do that in a sense, because they'll be like, so for example, guys, sugar. Like they're trying to get me over to Canon. And for me, I'm just like, but I don't have anything to use. Like I like the color, but I don't know what are the ergonomics. Is it gonna fit me? And they were just like, oh, dude, here, take the camera, take the lens. And I'm like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having those type of people around me just to be like, whatever you need, take it.
But you do the same thing, so it's easy to do it for you.
It's and
Yeah.
But and I think that's where it comes to insecurities, because it's like you don't see that. But I think we've kind of gotten accustomed to not being able to, like you said, trust or ask for help, because you do it, but you're not sure if the other person would. But here, I think it's just been a community of just like, here, whatever you need. Yeah. And that's, I think, has been, a big part of why this is being, successful so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Because y'all be doing anything, everything. Like from video to photos to like, again, like painting the office. We was all here. Yeah. Like it's really just been, it's been a whole team like effort. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'll say this too, Mark, because I think it would be one thing if you was just like sitting around, but like you're doing things, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay. And when you see people doing something, like if you're more compelled to say, hey, how can I can help you get to this area or help you make that next step, And so when you're moving, I'm like, Mark, if you want to try Canon, I have an extra camera here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can use it. Like I don't mind that at all.
So saying that to say, like, you just got a new car.
Wait, hold on.
If I need it, can I borrow it next week?
Man, look
testing
at the
your
time.
faith, brother. Testing your faith.
I mean, if that's on the table, your car still is nicer than mine. So
you know what? But you know what? They're both going to get new cars soon. Hey, so I guess I'll keep that in mind.
Paid in full. Yes, Lord. No car notes.
Come on,
no
man.
car notes 2021. Okay, I'm speaking that over everybody.
Amen.
I heard that.
I don't know. It's just, I know everyone's situation is different. And for me, I'm like, not everybody has this group that we have. Like this group is like amazing. Mm-hmm. We were saying I said last night, like, I feel like I've been waiting my whole life to have like this particular group of people where we're all like doing our own things, but still building together at the same time and still challenging each other to grow personally, creatively, spiritually, So it's like, but not everybody has that, So I just don't know, if you're in this position, or if you're in a position where you don't have people, but you're still dealing with doubt and all that stuff, like what is it that how do you push through that?
Yeah. I mean,
that's
well, one,
that's the tough.
I would definitely be trying to pursue some relationships. I think that's going to be important. And I think especially now how all these platforms that we have, it's a little more accessible to find people
That's true.
that are doing what you're doing. And because you can find more people, you can find people that might rock with you, and I mean, essentially that's almost like how we've kind of gotten to where we are now. Like, a lot of us have found each other via social media.
Both
Even
of
the
you guys
people
over Twitter.
Yep.
Oh, Twitter,
The
brother.
Twitter days.
Twitter relationships.
For real. Twerlationships. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Mark, take it away. You got anything you want to add?
Hey, shoot. No. But yeah, I believe that you should be trying to pursue those things, whether it's a mentor or it's just people that you want to go and take pictures with or whatever your area of creativity is. But pursue that. And I just feel like we're better together, man. Like, period.
Preaching.
In general.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're looking for that consistency and going along the lines of social media, like what I would do when I first made YouTube videos, I would literally, every YouTuber who inspired me or I took a piece of their work to make it my own, I would just tag them in those videos. Or I'll never forget, I did a friend of mine's, he has a workout challenge that he did. And I didn't know half of the people that he did the original video with, but I just remember I was like, I'm going to record this video and I'm going to tag all of them in there and be like, challenge accepted, and kind of put myself in a position to open up to, oh, who's this guy that just tagged me in this video?
Right.
Yeah.
And like, oh, okay, he has his own, okay, follow. All right. And those are relationships even to this day that I've had based on that. Or I'll never forget, like, the first time I was just like, I think it's thinking outside the box. And I just remember one time I was just like, I don't know Belief, but I like his music. I like his brand. I like everything he's doing. And I'll never forget, I just went on Music Bed, boop, and, added one of his songs to my video and put it on YouTube. And then I tagged him in it. And then next day it was like, oh, you have a new follower. I'm like, oh, you only follow me. So I think it's like, thinking outside the box is like, like what you want and where you want to go, like, but you can't just think outside the box. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but that's been, my proof of concept. And it's like, okay, I want this, result. Let me just do something different and stay consistent. So that's what I would say.
Just push. You gotta just push through it. Because I mean, it looks different for every person, but I agree with what you were saying. There's a book by, I think Austin Kleon, Still Like an Artist.
Yes.
He has another book called Show Your Work, which I have not read yet. But from what I've gathered about it, the concept is, like constantly be putting stuff out there. Whatever you do, constantly just share it. Because social media, like you said, like it's so easy to gain, certain relationships or notoriety in a sense, because every time you do something or you put something out there, it kind of builds your confidence too. So maybe in doing that, or like you said, like, going over to shoot the baseball player, like you were kind of hesitant, but the more you just do that stuff, like the more it just builds up your confidence to do it.
It's a muscle, man.
Yeah.
Like, confidence is a muscle and it has to be worked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, in order for it to change, like, you're not going to wake up one day and just be like, I'm confident now.
Yeah.
You have to build that thing up. I don't know if you mentioned it already. Like, I think you might have said it before we started recording, but like, after like a certain amount of time, sometimes if you're not doing it consistently,
yes.
like,
Did we say that before we started?
No, we said
Or was that in the
pod?
pod?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Said at the beginning.
Oh yeah, right.
But it's essentially like a muscle. Like the same way, like if I can work out and get these gains, right? Like I got right now. Welcome to the gun show, everybody. But
this is an audio platform.
He works out at No Fit, guys. not You Fit.
Stupid.
But I can work out and get like, and grow, right? But if I stop,
this
like,
man always be dropping gems.
those muscles are going to start to dwindle. You know what I'm saying? And so now I got to start over again. My coach used to say, this is when I was running track and football, playing football in high school. He was like,
30 years ago.
keep playing. Wait, is it? It's getting close actually because I started playing football in 2002.
I checked last week
in high school.
It was 16 years ago we graduated.
Oh,
Man.
Oh,
it's a long time for me.
but
too.
but he said, Joseph, listen, it takes 2 weeks to get in shape. He's like, and it takes 2 days to get out of shape.
That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
And just think
But
about
the concept of that is so real.
that. So you have to be consistent in doing a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, man, I stepped out there and I asked this question, or I tried to get this shot, or I made this thing that I was scared to make. It's like, but now I got to do it again.
Mhm.
But you know what's
And
crazy in that? In constantly doing things, all of the things that all the insecurities will start to rise up, and you can start to identify what they are and start dealing with those things like one by one, because in doing something consistently, like you'll start to see those trigger points like, okay, like I'm really scared to do this.
Yeah.
Or I start to feel really guilty, or I'm doubting myself a lot. But you can only even identify those things in constantly doing
Yes.
them, you know?
Yes. That's so real, man.
Yeah, sometimes what I do if like I'm insecure about a particular aspect of like my filming, recording, like I just do those things first, because naturally you want to like leave them to the end. Like, all right, let me do all the easy stuff first.
Right.
And at the end, you're just like, oh man, so for me, I'm just like, just having the courage to say, you know what, let me do this first. Let me tackle this first. Or, I forget what book it's a part of, but hiring other people to do those things where you fall weak or you're short, like the things that are hard, you
delegate.
Yeah.
And because, like one thing that you mentioned before is like the setup process. Like we all hate that,
Listen, if I could pay somebody to come in here and set this whole thing up every time, I'd still keep the money in my pocket and do it. But the thought of it is great.
Yeah. So.
But I think it's important to note that if you are like feeling self-doubt or even doubt from other people or guilt or, not supported or whatever, like that's normal.
Yeah.
Like you're not alone in that. I think everybody deals with that to some extent. So don't let that be the thing that stops you, because with every level that you climb, there's going to be a new battle or new hurdle to overcome. So what's crazy is, I think I told you before, we used to shoot this show. We used to shoot I Am Athlete, right? Every single time, like the day before we shoot, I get nervous. Every single time. Even we're on episode 10, 11.
Like we've been doing this for a while.
I know what it's going to look like and everything. Still get nervous. Like it's a part of creating. Like it just doesn't go away in a sense,
There's a part of you that's like, what if something goes wrong?
Exactly.
And I think it's like reshaping that thought to say, what if everything goes right?
Right.
Like just shifting the thought pattern behind that.
But it's not as, unusual. So almost embrace that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because in that doubt, in that insecurity, that just means that you're doing something right. Because if you feel comfortable all the time, you ain't doing nothing.
You're not growing.
You ain't growing it,
You
right?
don't care. Like if you're so worried that this is in the right place, that the sound is just perfect, that means you like care.
Yeah.
'Cause you could just be like, all right, y'all good?
Yeah. But if you really like listen to like you even like the greatest in their areas, like especially like even in sports, everything comes back to sports for me. But like they're always nervous. Like they never not get nervous. When game time comes, it's like, but once it's like I've heard guys say like after that first hit, they're good. But they're nervous all the way up into that, and then they get hit for the first time, and it's like, all right, now let's play ball.
Yeah, man.
And then I think it's the same thing for us, especially as artists, because not everybody's gonna appreciate what you make, and that can be nerve-wracking.
And that's not just as an artist. That's whatever it is you do. Like there's always like you said, not everyone's gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that can look different for what, everybody's different.
Y'all ever be about to show somebody something you made, but you give like a bunch of disclaimers before you?
That was
All
like me with him.
Now, just so you know, this isn't a type of pixel monitor, so you're not going to see all the quality. and there was a part in here where this happened, but just
right.
And it's like just play the video.
Show me, show me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so example, Will, he's working on this wedding video, and he gave so many disclaimers before playing it for us. And we watched it and it was like a standing ovation. Like this thing is amazing. But still, it's like that feeling of, sharing it.
It is. It's like, this is your baby. You put time to you put time into this thing. And like, it's like the parent whose child they just think is so amazing at everything they do.
And then he the slowest one on the field. Like, y'all leave my baby alone.
He's trying.
Question though. Speaking of that though, are you reluctant to share your ideas with people?
For me, I think it's always important to save certain ideas, keep certain ideas to yourself before they're until they're like fully fleshed out and you know what you're doing, because sometimes people aren't always going to see the vision, and try to talk you out of a thing. Now, and sometimes that's out of love too. Like they're not trying to be, doubt you or nothing like that. But like, not everybody's going to see the vision right away. Yeah. So that I don't know, that might be a whole nother conversation in itself. But you really need to like be cautious with the ideas you have, because it's like not everybody's going to be right there right out the gate.
Right.
And honestly, sometimes too, it can be fleeting. And then like, it's just like, that was a good idea, but I don't think that's something I want to pursue. And then everybody's like, so when you going to do the thing?
I've been there. I've been there before.
I totally agree. I would just say for me, I might share it with Jamie or like just one person, but more so in the context of accountability. Like, because and this is a whole nother topic as well, but in the past when I would start things, I'd just be like, oh yeah, that was cool. And I never forget when people are like, oh, you used to do real estate, right? I'm like,
you used to do real estate, Mark?
Yeah.
You can sell me a house?
you used to do this, right? I'm like, yeah, that was like 2 weeks. I didn't really want to do that no more. Or, you get to a point where you're like, it was a good idea, but I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the things I really care about, I'll probably just tell one person, just more so for accountability. Yeah. So I can see it through and just stay consistent.
All right.
Facts.
All right. Well, just, putting it out there again, if you are experiencing whatever type of creative insecurity, it's just more common than you think. You know, don't let that be the thing that stops you from doing whatever, because it's just a normal part of growth, Yeah. Before we get out of here. Before we get out of here.
He was in the wrong key. But we ain't gonna talk about.
He a singer, guys.
Sorry, it's not the time and the place.
Oh, he was ready.
I was ready.
He was ready.
Anywho, before we get out of here,
you just trying to show off.
You're never gonna get an invite back. I'm kidding.
How's that for your confidence?
Y'all are so dumb. Can we get another woman on the show?
No. You are resident. No, I'm just kidding. We are accepting of all genders.
Okay. Before we get out of here, what's one thing that's inspiring you or inspired you this past week?
I think you kind of touched on it just a second ago, but honestly, it was when we were at the crib, and Will was showing his video that he was editing, and it was not so much the video, but it was just like looking around the room, and there's just like a group of like young, like motivated, passionate, creators, videography, photography, influencers, whatever you want to call it. But it was just like you could tell there was just that excitement in the room.
Yeah.
And everyone was there to like support each other, but give, feedback, but help in any way.
And honest feedback too. Like we got such a good group. It's just, it's great.
And that's one thing for especially Christina. I can always count on Christina to tell me like the truth, no matter if it hurts. Like I'm like, oh, she about to chew us apart in a loving way. But I appreciate that because
do I
honest feedback,
because I prefer that as opposed to somebody who's just like, oh man, that was dope. oh man, that was dope. So sometimes I'll show Jamie like a video I recorded, and she's like, oh, it was just so good. I'm like, what do you really think?
I mean, I do it, but it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
If I know that you can handle the honest feedback,
Yeah.
I'll do it. And I'm just a straightforward person. But if you can't handle it, oh, that was nice. That was nice. That was nice. Joseph.
I'm gonna say my camera, because as of recently,
Yes.
I just got a new camera body.
He's leveling up.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
you got the A7S, right?
No,
Mark,
Sony.
get out.
I'm sorry. I gave my life to Jesus a long time ago. I would never go back. No, I just got the R6, man, and it's just all the capabilities in there that I've been wanting out of a camera are there. So now I'm like really pushing myself to like try, like shoot
Yeah.
more and try different stuff. Like, you know, we talked about the draft workouts and stuff like that, and getting shots out there. It's been so much fun. And
so proud of you.
Yeah, man, it's been great. So be sure to follow me on Instagram, all that jazz, because I'm dropping new pictures.
At Joe Stitt.
At Joe Stitt, holla at your boy. But yeah, I think that really has inspired me. It's a great camera body. And yeah, I love
Team
it.
Canon.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, for me, on Friday night, I'm saying days, like it really matters. But the other night we watched a movie called American Skin,
Ooh, yeah.
which was written and directed by Nate Parker. And it was it's a heavy movie. But it's such a great movie that both
Yes.
times we've watched it.
Oh, y'all watched it twice. So the second time y'all watched it without me.
It-
Okay, it's
I
cool.
mean, you came after
No, it's cool.
we
Oh,
watched it.
Wait, y'all watched it before? Y'all watched it before?
No,
Mark,
no,
you were
no.
there.
No. We watched it the next day.
Again?
After. Yeah, again. Because there was somebody else who didn't watch it. You saw the movie. Why you
Y'all
acting
just
like?
did it. I came here the other day. Y'all was just in the room. Like, oh, hey,
Because
Mark.
we had already watched
I'm
it.
like, y'all was here all. Anyway,
You were there the first day we watched
Mark
it.
acting like he
Chill.
wasn't busy
I
doing
missed-
other things.
I missed y'all though. Okay, that's my say. I said it. I missed y'all.
Anywho, it was
Get over us. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a movie about. You give the description. You good at that?
Yeah.
Whoop.
Nothing. No, it's a great movie. It was basically about a guy whose son was shot and killed by a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
and the police officer wasn't indicted for
Yeah.
for murder or anything like that, and he was able to go right back to work and all this stuff. So he kind of planned a way to kind of have a confront this police officer. I don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah.
so I'll leave it right there. But
I mean, you watch the trailer, you'll
you'll get
it'll-
an idea
it'll
of
tell
what's
you.
going on. But for me, I know this is your
No, go ahead.
but I just really liked how they created a space to present all the arguments
Yeah,
that we hear when stuff like this happens.
yeah.
And it was a great piece to really like kind of discuss and talk about. And I'll let Jazz.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Both nights we watched it. We had really deep conversations
Yeah.
after we watched the movie. Both times, as if you and I didn't watch the movie the day before
Right.
and have a whole conversation about it. But it was just a great, dialogue, and just to know that he wrote and directed it and acted in it.
Yeah.
And they did such a good job, even though I'm assuming they didn't have a large budget. I was just impressed.
It was a good story, yeah. And there were two, Nate Turner and like the police officers, like
Nate Parker.
Nate Parker.
what did I say, Nate Robinson?
You said Nate Turner.
Nate Turner.
What's his name?
Probably
Parker.
confusing him with Nat Turner.
Yeah. No wonder I was having a problem Googling him the other day.
What's in that Starbucks, Joe?
Should have used Bing.
Oh boy, God bless us. God bless me. Just Nate Parker
Mhm.
and whoever was playing the police officer absolutely
Amazing.
killed it. They
Amazing.
killed it.
I want to say the police officer almost more than Nate.
I would agree with that.
But it was two very different roles. So, but
Yeah.
they were on the same level, I guess. But
And I was and subtle honorable mention, the guy, the best friend, who's the guy that plays Ghost on Powers?
Omari Hardwick.
Omari Hardwick.
Yeah, like he was playing that role in the movie, and he actually, I liked his his role there
Yeah.
too. He was very believable
Yeah.
in his role. But great movie.
Great movie. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Nate Parker.
Yeah,
Shout out to
and
him.
it's a great conversation starter. So
Yeah.
if you're into that,
Yeah. It's almost a disservice to not watch it. And I think if you're watching it with the right group, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's episode 5.
yes, indeedy.
Yes, sir.
Next episode, we have another very special guest, and it's not Mark, but we have. After this episode, you're not even considered a
Yeah.
guest anymore.
I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be coming in and out.
You're a part
So
of
I could go in the
co-host.
refrigerator. I don't have to ask to go in the fridge now.
No, you can just
No.
go get you something to drink. That's
Yeah.
it, bro.
Yeah, I have.
Go get
When's
your
the
own
last time I
Kool-Aid.
went and got anything for you
I don't
around
think-
here?
You're right. You're right.
Boy, you ain't no guest no more. But yeah, that's episode 5. Appreciate you guys. You know what, Joe? Take us out.
All
pray,
right.
Pray us out, Joe.
Pray us out?
You don't gotta
Oh,
pray.
yeah,
Just
okay.
take us out.
Hey, God bless you guys, man. Appreciate
I
you.
was
We'll
ready.
see you next time.
Come on,
the-
Instagrams.
Oh, right.
Subscribe.
Make
Come
sure you
on.
subscribe on the YouTube channel at not at Creatives Are Essential. It's just
No.
Creatives Are Essential on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Creatives Are Essential. You got at Joe Stitt, at _ Tina Jones, at
Mark Lee Films.
follow all of us.
And we got a TikTok.
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
got a TikTok. So follow us on TikTok too.
Yes,
It's at Creatives Are Essential as well.
Yep.
And make sure you go on the website, creativesareessential.co.
That's
Yeah.
it,
Get you
man.
some merch.
Get you some
get some
merch.
hoodies.
And what's
Yeah.
funny is
Not
everything
this
that
one.
we're wearing is not available right now. Like,
We all got
Yeah.
exclusives on. Sorry.
yeah. But you know,
yeah.
there is stuff there. So just go ahead and pick that up.
Yeah, man.
Become a part of the squad, you know?
Yes, sir. All right. Well, other than that, I think that's everything.
That's
right?
everything.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Y'all be good, be blessed, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.